Have you ever looked at your bank account after years of working and thought, wait, that's it? You've been budgeting, skipping vacations, saying no to dinners, trying to invest responsibly, and somehow you're still not at $50,000 yet. Meanwhile, you hear people casually talk about hitting 100K like it's just another Tuesday. And you start wondering, is it just me? Why does the first $50,000 feel painfully slow? Here's the thing. It's not just you. The first $50,000 is objectively harder than the next $50,000. Not because of luck, not because of secret investing tricks, but because of math and psychology. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money compounds and how people actually behave around it. If you're someone who feels stuck building savings or investing consistently, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not provide financial advice. Look, when you're starting from zero, every dollar has to come from one place: your effort, your paycheck. If you save $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. To reach $50,000, ignoring investment growth for a second, that's over 8 years. 8! That's why it feels slow, because in the beginning, your savings rate is doing 100% of the work. But here's what most people don't realize. Once you reach $50,000, the game changes. Let's say you have $50,000 invested, earning an average of 7% annually, which historically aligns with long-term U.S. stock market averages according to data from sources like Vanguard and the Federal Reserve. 7% of $50,000 is $3,500. That's $3,500 earned without you working extra hours. Now imagine you're still adding that same $6,000 per year. Suddenly, your total annual growth isn't $6,000 anymore. It's $9,500. This is where it gets really interesting. When your money starts contributing meaningfully, it feels like momentum. The first $50,000 is like pushing a car uphill from a standstill. The next $50,000 is like the car finally rolling with you pushing behind it. Same effort, different experience.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but $3,500 isn't life-changing. You're right, but the psychological shift is. Research from behavioral economists shows that visible progress increases motivation. It's called the progress principle. When people see measurable improvement, they're more likely to stay consistent. At $5,000 invested, 7% is $350. You barely notice it. At $50,000, 7% is $3,500. Now you notice. At $100,000, 7% is $7,000. Now it feels real. And this is where people start accelerating, not because they suddenly became smarter, but because momentum feels rewarding. Here's another piece people overlook. Income tends to rise over time. According to U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data, median earnings typically increase with age and experience, especially between your 20s and 40s. So your ability to invest often improves right when compounding starts becoming meaningful. So the first $50,000, you're fighting low income, low compounding, and high temptation. The next $50,000, you often have higher income, visible growth, and stronger habits. That's a completely different environment. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine spent almost 9 years grinding to reach $60,000 invested. He told me it felt like watching paint dry. Then, something strange happened. The jump from $60,000 to $100,000 took less than 4 years. He didn't change strategies. He didn't discover crypto magic. He simply stayed consistent.
The math finally caught up. And this is the part nobody talks about enough. The first phase builds identity. When you're fighting to hit $50,000, you're not just building money, you're building discipline. You're building delayed gratification. You're building the habit of investing even when it feels pointless. That identity is what makes the next phase faster. Here's what most people don't realize. If you quit before $50,000, you never experience compounding working with you. You only experience compounding working against you, like credit card interest. And look, I get it. It's frustrating. You see headlines about millionaires. You see influencers talking about passive income. But the real wealth curve is boring at the beginning, flat, then slowly curved. So what can you actually do, practically, while you're in the slow phase? First, focus on increasing your savings rate, not chasing higher returns. A 2% difference in return on $10,000 barely moves the needle. Increasing your savings by $200 a month does. Second, automate everything. Remove the decision fatigue. The fewer times you decide to invest, the more consistent you'll be. Third, track net worth quarterly, not daily. Daily tracking amplifies frustration. Quarterly tracking reveals progress. And finally, zoom out. Because this isn't about getting rich quickly. It's about surviving long enough for compounding to matter. The first $50,000 feels slow because you are doing all the pushing. The next $50,000 feels faster because your money finally starts pushing back. And once that happens, consistency becomes easier, motivation increases, and wealth building stops feeling impossible. If this helped reframe how you see that first milestone, hit the like button so more people can understand this phase better. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns on the psychology and math behind money. And in the comments, tell me, where are you on your first $50,000 journey? Because trust me, if it feels slow, you're probably closer than you think.